very good morning. This presentation is brought to you by Resonate International with a mission to leverage knowledge worldwide. The topic being covered is Generation Z, turning it into a strategic force for reshaping the future. Ladies and gentlemen, Generation Z, almost 2.5 billion strong, stands at a pivotal moment in history, representing nearly 32% of the global population. Their emergence as a dominant force is inevitable, but whether they rise as transformative leaders or face the same pitfalls as their seniors in age faced will depend on how well they understand themselves and how effectively they are nurtured by the society. Their potential is enormous, and their actions today will determine the course of tomorrow. However, to lead successfully, Generation Z must engage in strategic self-reflection, identifying their strengths, addressing weaknesses, capitalizing on opportunities, and mitigating threats. This SWOT analysis serves as a tool for both individual and collective growth, enabling Generation Z to steer their own course and shape a better future. Let us look at the strengths of Generation Z. Born into a rapidly digitalized world, Generation Z has grown up navigating technology with unparalleled ease. Their ability to harness digital tools to create, communicate, and innovate is unmatched. This technological fluency not only enables them to adapt to evolving global trends, but also to leverage these advancements for solving critical challenges. According to studies, more than 90% of Generation Z access the internet daily, and they are already shaping entire industries through e-commerce, digital marketing, and social media influence. Generation Z's social awareness is equally impressive. They are often referred to as the most socially conscious generation in history. Whether it is climate action, gender equality, or racial justice, 67% of Generation Z actively engages in social causes. This reflects a deeper commitment to creating a world that is more equitable and sustainable. Their inclination towards peace, equality, and inclusion is a defining characteristic, and they firmly believe that conflicts, especially wars, should be avoided wherever possible. Another key strength is their respect for systems and institutions. Generation Z values the stability and order that comes from working within systems. They believe in structured processes and understand the importance of rules and accountability. This makes them well suited to maintain and build upon existing frameworks that are critical to societal progress. However, they often lack the training or experience needed to understand how institutions are created, sustained, and improved. This knowledge gap limits their ability to think systematically and develop solutions that can last for generations. Their entrepreneurial drive is another strength, with nearly 75% expressing interest in launching their own ventures. Generation Z views entrepreneurship not just as a career path, but as a tool for self-determination and financial independence. Generation Z has weaknesses. Let's look at them. Emotional vulnerability, social pressure, and lack of leadership training constitute broadly their weakness. However, along with these strengths which we talked about, some significant weaknesses exist which we just mentioned. Generation Z's exposure to constant digital engagement has led to a wave of mental health challenges, with anxiety and depression affecting over 30% of young people. Social media platforms, while providing visibility and connection, also breed unhealthy comparisons and the pressure to meet unrealistic standards. This has contributed to increased emotional stress, with many turning to substance abuse or other distractions to cope up with the pressure. The rising prevalence of pub culture and other indulgences reflects a generation increasingly vulnerable to peer pressure. While their desire for peace and harmony is commendable, Generation Z often lacks the depth of understanding needed to navigate the complexities of global conflicts and crises. Their idealism can sometimes obscure the reality that difficult choices must be made, choices that demand moral clarity and critical thinking. Without adequate training in leadership, systems thinking, or ethics, they are prone to manipulation by forces that may exploit their desire for inclusivity and fairness. Economic inequality within this generation is another growing concern. Generation Z is divided between those with access to wealth and opportunities and those struggling to make ends meet. Economic disparity is more visible than ever before, and it threatens the unity and cohesion needed for collective progress. What are the opportunities in front of Generation Z? Despite above weaknesses, Generation Z's opportunities for growth and leadership are immense. For one, the education system must evolve to better align with the realities of today's world. Traditional career pathways are no longer sufficient to prepare young people for the dynamic, rapidly changing global landscape. Instead, education must focus on developing critical thinking, emotional intelligence, problem solving, and systems building skills. By understanding how systems and institutions work and learning how to create and sustain them, Generation Z can develop long-term solutions that benefit future generations. Additionally, Generation Z is at the forefront of global connectivity. They have the capacity to unite across borders, fostering collaborations that transcend national and cultural divisions. Their innate understanding of digital platforms offers them unparalleled access to global resources, experts, and mentors if they choose to tap into them. Millennials and baby boomers also play a critical role in shaping this opportunity. Millennials, with their innovative spirit and resilience, can guide Generation Z through the pitfalls of professional life, teaching them to navigate challenges with a balanced approach. Baby boomers, with their decades of wisdom and experience, provide the necessary historical context and foresight that Generation Z needs to understand the complexities of leadership. There are threats too for Generation Z. Let's look at that. The Generation Z faces threats which cannot be ignored. Misinformation is pervasive, and without the ability to critically assess the information they consume, this generation is vulnerable to manipulation. Their idealism can easily be co-opted by bad actors or populist movements that play on emotional appeals without offering real solutions. Additionally, the economic instability that many members of this generation face threatens to derail their aspirations. With growing student debt, rising housing costs, and limited access to high-paying jobs, many are entering adulthood under significant financial pressure. This could lead to further social fragmentation within the generation, exacerbating the divide between the haves and the have-nots. The polarization of society also poses a threat. As Generation Z comes of age in a politically charged environment, they must navigate increasingly divided societies. This polarization could undermine their efforts to build inclusive and cohesive communities, further eroding trust in institutions and diminishing their ability to lead effectively. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, a shared responsibility for building a better future is not only of Generation Z, but of everyone. Generation Z stands on the brink of greatness, but their future depends on how they harness their strengths, address their weaknesses, and seize opportunities while navigating threats. This SWOT analysis offers a roadmap for self-assessment and collective action. However, this responsibility does not lie solely with Generation Z. It is a shared burden between all generations. Millennials and baby boomers must step forward, offering their wisdom, support, and guidance. Generation Z's inherent potential, when combined with the experience of older generations, can create a new era of leadership that prioritizes peace, equality, and sustainability. To build a better future, Generation Z must sharpen their critical thinking, learn to discern right from wrong, and pursue leadership with moral clarity. They must also develop a deep understanding of how systems and institutions are built, sustained, and improved. These are the very structures that hold societies together and foster long-term progress. With this knowledge and support, Generation Z can become the architects of a more just, equitable and sustainable world. As the next generation rises to leadership, it needs to be ensured that they are not only empowered but also prepared so that the world they inherit and shape is more just, equitable, and sustainable for all. Good luck, best wishes, and thank you very much for your attention.